What's up, everyone? My name's Nish. I'm one of the founders of CloudPatch. And the idea of CloudPatch was I felt like it was super annoying to connect my CDN to Unity. And if you don't know what a CDN is, it's basically a way for game developers to update their games or deliver content to their games after it was built. So users don't have to go and like install bundles manually. It's meant for things like live events and DLC and stuff like that. It's very complicated to connect your CDN to Unity because you have to figure out the authentication. You have to manually upload your assets every time. You have to configure your settings to be perfect to work with the particular CDN you're working with. And so we wanted to automate the entire process. Currently, we're only supporting GCP, but we definitely want to support other options. Our own option and static is a great one, but we also want to support things like AWS and PlayFab. Awesome. So let's dive right into it. The first step is because we're working with GCP, you want to create a bucket. And this bucket will be the area where you store all of your different assets. And so I already went ahead and created a bucket. There's nothing in here, but if you want to create a bucket, all you have to do is log into GCP. I'll let you figure that out. Consult with the documentation, but to create a bucket, you just click the create bucket button, and then you can name your bucket, choose the area, choose how the access control works, etc. The good thing about CloudPatch is you can keep your bucket private. A lot of times people make their buckets public, so to make it easier to access your games, but uh, that means that you don't have any authentication, so there could be some risk. Awesome. And then the second step is you want to get a service account. So the way you do that is you go to your credentials, uh, and then you create a service account. This is the way we're doing authentication in CloudPatch, but we also plan to support OAuth and multi-factor, different kinds of multi-factor authentication later. But the way you create a credential is you just click on the service account, and then you can go through the steps to create one. You want it to be able to read and write from a bucket. That's really all you need for CloudPatch. Sweet. So now let's go to our Unity game. Now this Unity game is pretty simple. We basically have just a character, some base map. There's like some sort of some camera, some lighting, and then I have two different scenes. Uh, one is a very basic map with some random blocks here and there, and the second one is just the same thing but with extra block. And I want to show you how CloudPatch can enable you to deliver these scenes and then patch these scenes in real time. Awesome. So the first step is let's go ahead and then make these two scenes addressable. And addressable is a pretty common package to basically make your assets patchable. In the future, we hope CloudPatch can automate this entire process. And by future, I mean like 1 to 2 days. But all you have to do is just drag your scenes into the group that you want it to be in. So I created this basic group here. Let's drag these in. Amazing. And now these assets will be addressable. Cool. Now the second step is we want to install our CloudPatch bucket. So we can take this URL. We can go to our Windows. We can go to our package manager. I don't think I mentioned this before, but you want to have addressables installed. We're going to automate this soon, but for now, you want to have addressables installed. And then you want to add the addressables package in. So let's add that in. That will install. Amazing. And the thing about the CloudPatch package is once we have this, you can do a lot of different things with it. So with CloudPatch, you have a bunch of different functions. So let's first start off with the sets. So you want to start off with setting the service type. Now, setting the service type is basically selecting what your backend is. Right now, we only support GCP, but you can imagine, having AWS, PlayFab, any of these services here. So let's just save that service. And then let's take the next step is you want to set the settings. We want to point it to the particular bucket that we're installing to. And as you remember, if you go to our cloud storage, our bucket is called test CloudPatch. Amazing. So let's set our bucket and let's submit it. Awesome. So that should be done. And then finally, we want to authenticate. So the way we authenticate is we get our service account. You might have saved it in some random place. I saved it in this folder called CloudPatch demo. So we take our server's account JSON, and now we have successfully authenticated. Cool. Now the power of CloudPatch is we do have to, before we do the upload, we do have to set some settings. And so if you go to our groups, we go to our playground, and then the first thing is right now looks like it is delivering from a local path. We want it to be a remote path, right? So as you can see here, because we set our settings, the remote path is automatically set to be the location of the bucket and then the OXS. The OS or the platform that you're building to is automatically added, so you don't have to worry about that. And then the second thing is we also want to allow for remote builds of our content. And so if you go to settings, we have to allow the build remote content. And now we are pointing towards our load path. Cool. So this is all good. Again, like we want to, if you want all of this to be automated, please let us know, and we can definitely write a script to like abstract all of these processes away. Finally, we have these 3 different functions here. Now, upload directory will just basically, when you click it, you can just upload any arbitrary directory. But the things that I feel are more important are build addressables and patch, and particularly patch. The idea of patch is once you build your game, the next time, once you build your game, if you want to make a change to your scene, you want to patch those changes. And the cool thing is when you make a change into your Unity editor and when you click patch, it will send those changes to your build, which is pretty cool. Important though is that you need to have a build before you patch, otherwise it's patching nothing. And so let's go ahead and build our game. So let's go and build our game. Cool. So it looks like all of the settings look good. We have our main scene here. Now let's build it, and let's call it test. Let's save the scene. Cool. So while that's building, we can go ahead and get ready to patch. So you want to make sure you patch the very first time, otherwise there won't be any assets in your cloud storage, and it could break everything. So you definitely want to go ahead and patch. It's taking some time. Yeah, so maybe while we're waiting, I can talk a little bit about sort of the vision of CloudPatch. We definitely want this to be a sort of streamline the process to connect to basically any CDN you can think of. Okay, cool. So it looks like everything has been built, and now we can patch our game. So what this does is it builds each of the assets that you want to be patchable, and then it uploads it to cloud storage. So if you go to cloud storage, we can see that all of our asset bundles are built. Amazing. So now now that we have that, we can run our game. And we should be able to load the assets. So we have our base map, and in this game, I have a script when I press Z, it will load scene 1, and when I press C, it will load scene 2. So right now it loads scene 1 pretty well, and then it loads scene 2. Amazing. Now what if we make a change? Now this is the cool part of CloudPatch. Let's say we want to take our scene and then add a few blocks. So this is just a random change. I'm not even thinking about it. Maybe we want to change the scale a little bit more. I don't know. Cool. And then we save this change, and then we click patch again. And the cool thing about patch is it will send these updated asset bundles. It will only send the updated asset bundles. And then if we go to our game again, it might take some time to load, but basically scene 1 is the same, right? But scene 2 has changed. See, we have our extra block and our smaller block. Cool. So basically, we streamline the process of uploading to your CDN and handling the entire process of setting the path and setting the authentication. Right now, our bucket is completely private, which means that no one can access our bucket. And so the idea of CloudPatch, and I think I've repeated this over and over, but right now we're starting very early. We have only supporting GCP, But we do want to support more and more features. And so my request to everybody watching this video is we actually have a form uh, listed below in our description. I would very much appreciate if you can send feature requests so we can prioritize exactly what we want to build, exactly what we want to build. We want to understand your problems as game developers, and we want to build for your problems. And essentially, if you submit the form quickly, our goal is to address every single feature request within a 24-hour period. That's very ambitious. So we'll make sure we message you and keep you updated on your feature requests throughout the process. And we hope that we can make this sort of package something that's universally used, that streamlines everything that goes into 3D object delivery. And I really hope that everyone watching this video can be part of that journey. Thank you.